When Brooks able to get his team, the Grizzlies will have opportunities. You see here, Brandon Clark is couple. He's making me look like I don't know what I'm talking about, partner. Morant rattles and goes down. Thought that he was going to get a foul with the aggressive defensive play of the foul call.
I hated to see that from Kyle Lowry. How about this?
Few players can rattle the rim like big men. Few players can bolt up the court like small guards. But what if one day when watching basketball, you saw a player doing both? A 6'2", 174-pound point guard flashing through the lane and then crashing through with a dunk for two. Well, that would mean you were watching the Memphis Grizzlies' new generational talent, Ja Morant. Let's see how he got to your TV screen. On August 10th, 1999, Tremetrius Jamel Morant was born in Dalzell, South Carolina. Born into a close-knit family, his father T. Morant grew up in the same town of 3,000. Ja's father had his own basketball journey, playing with Ray Allen in high school and then finishing his collegiate career and hoping to go to the pros. But hope is all it stayed, because right before T was about to go and sign to play overseas, he learned his wife, Jamie, was pregnant with Ja. He immediately dropped his own hoop dreams to focus on raising his newborn and future daughter. As Ja was growing up, however, it was clear the dedication his father showed to the sport, because it transferred over the young player's training. If T. Morant wasn't going to get to the league, he was going to do everything in his power to get his son there. When Morant was 10 years old, he got every kid's dream news. His dad was going to build the family their own basketball court. Yes, out in the backyard was a concrete court for Ja and his friends to start running games. All the while, T grilling dinner for all the boys. Proud, but still noticing a problem. Ja was not keeping up with any sort of professional athlete growth rate. By the time he was in high school, he was still only 5'9". There was no dunking, no flashiness yet. The time in the backyard was not over. Because if Morant was going to be short, then he was going to have to learn how to fly. And what better way to get your wings in rural South Carolina than box jumping on old tractor tires? Day in and day out, Ja trained with his dad. So much so that Ja now looks back at those years and explains how T was his first and biggest hater he's had. It turns out that compared to his dad's training and coaching, media slander doesn't quite match up. By senior year, the tires had paid off. Morant had grown to 6 foot flat and finally had his first dunk. And with those first dunks came the first college offers. Wait, no it didn't. Ja, where's the letter? Where's the letters, man? What's going on? Oh yeah. High school Ja Morant was nowhere near NBA Ja Morant yet. Crazy enough, he was actually a 0-star recruit during school. It wouldn't be until a lucky spot in a Chandler Parsons camp because someone dropped out. Ja was the replacement and headed to camp. Just to reiterate, Ja was not the Ja we all know and love yet. His story doesn't suddenly turn into, he got to the camp and then exploded and everyone wanted him. No, it goes in a more interesting way. One day the camp splits up. If you weren't on the upper end of the prospects at this camp, aka Ja, you were sent to a side gym to shoot around and practice while the higher prospects ran drills for people. While the top kids were showing colleges what they could do, Murray State assistant coach James Kane decided he could use a snack. He walked down to the concession stand, purchased a bag of chips, and just happened to peer into the other gym through the hallway. And there he saw Ja, shooting around and running his own drills. He immediately knew that's who the school needed. Luckiest bag of chips ever. Murray State would become Ja's only college offer. So he would spend 2 years in Kentucky. In his freshman year, he started growing again and would end at his current height of 6'2". He also led his team to the NCAA tournament after averaging 12.7 points, 6.5 assists, and 6.3 rebounds. Ja's game started to take form. It was more well-rounded and the explosiveness started trickling in one highlight after another. In the offseason, he would get an invitation to a camp. Gone were the days of being a last-second replacement. He was one of 20 college guards that would attend Chris Paul's elite guard camp that year. And immediately, Ja cashed in when the next season hit. The man was dominant. averaging 24.5 points, 10 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and 1.8 steals. Ja Morant was now Ja Morant. As his game rose, so did his popularity. Soon, his highlight reels at Murray State were getting posted all across social media from different sports outlets. The only star shining brighter by the end of that year's March Madness was Zion. Ja had finally cracked it. He was going to the NBA. Although some questioned whether his game could transfer to the professional level, citing defensive woes, small stature, and weak college conference competition, Morant was headed to a city where he would prove everybody wrong. The Memphis Grizzlies were a team that had finally accepted a rebuild and traded away Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. The franchise was looking for a new group of players to take up the grit and grind mantle. As luck would have it, they would get their southern star with Ja. Having grown up in South Carolina and college in Kentucky, Morant knew what hard work meant in the South. Grit and grind was fully adopted by the rookie and his supporting cast of future young stars like Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. In Morant's first year, he averaged just under 18 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. Those averages would earn him the Rookie of the Year award. Then, in the following year, Ja would lead his team against the Golden State Warriors in the play-in tournament to secure the 8th seed in the playoffs. Just another moment in the resume that made people start to turn their heads. They would turn a complete 360 when Ja in his first playoff game got a win against the number 1 seeded Utah Jazz. The Grizzlies would lose the series but come back to the next year as a dominant force, taking the champion Warriors to 6 games in the semifinals. And now, we're back to this current season. Ja is currently averaging 28.5 points, 7.6 assists, and 6.4 rebounds. When you watch him, it's hard to remember those days of basketball struggle in his youth. But Morant remembers. He continues to work each and every day to get better, just like his father showed him. And we can imagine his father makes sure of it because the whole family moved to Memphis with Ja. It's not even that they moved to the city, they moved in with him. It's like we mentioned earlier, Ja is a family man through and through. His parents moved in with him to a nice big house, along with his girlfriend and 3-year-old daughter, Kyrie. The Morant rise to fame is one of defying the odds and refusing to count yourself out. His mother always told him, beneath no one. And the 5'9" high schooler took it to heart, making his way to the NBA and flying to the rim above everybody else.
Man. Halftime, and we pointed out to each other.
By Melton with the knockaway. Tyus. From the weak side. See here, this shot goes up by Desmond Bane, and then Ja Morant.
Guarded by Butler. Ja, scoop.